So I got a good bit going on in this video because today is March 1st, which means small game season ended on the 28th of February. So what I want to do is I want to go over everything that I got this hunting season, and some of it's still in the barn, so I'm not gonna have that on this one take, but this is my buddy's bucktail. And that whole hide is in the barn drying. There's some of my tails and stuff. This rabbit I got on Black Friday, and it is still got salt on the bottom of it. These masks have been cleaned off and not even oiled because I'm probably going to use those for fly tying. There's one more rabbit that's still got a bunch of salt on it. You can see it all over this cardboard. Then what I have here, this is the first squirrel of the season. That one's nice and soft. Then I shot two more gray squirrels, and all the fur fell off of them. And I was able to save this one. I did not oil it or anything. Then I got this red fox. This one's broke. Nice and soft. These two rabbits I broke. They're soft, and I just put mink oil on these. These three chunks over here. This is a red fox squirrel. I just soaked it, got all the salt off of these three pieces, and then put mink oil on them. But what I wanted to do was sew all the rabbit together and then use some leftover material from the baby blanket I made for my newborn niece and my sister-in-law. This material I wanted to take and make a nice hand warmer, and the rabbit be on the inside of it and that be on the outside of it. But playing with this stuff rips pretty easily. There's a big rip right there. When I was oiling it, it ripped. So I don't think a sewing machine's gonna quite work for these. So I might have to get some fabric glue and glue it to that and then sew everything together at the end. But now I wanted to go over all of my hunting gear, and then my fishing gear, and then my backpacking gear, because that's what's next, is fishing and backpacking and camping. So this, I'm going to go over it pretty quickly. This is the first gun I ever bought. It is a 17 HMR. And I will argue that 17 is the best caliber ever made. Anyway, so it's a Savage. I got it the week I turned 18. And then I put a Boyd stock on it. And then just last year, I put a cantilever on it, a 20 MOA base on it. And this is a straight 10 power scope. Now, I've taken this thing out to 400 yards without the 20 MOA and without the cantilever on it. And it took me 150 shots in the wind, 18, 19, 20 tenths of a mil in the wind, with my elevation completely zeroed out. Crosshairs all the way up. Just nuts. But anyway, then I bought this shotgun. This is a Winchester Youth Model 120. And I used it. I shot 4 rabbits with it and 2 groundhogs the first 2 months, 3 months I owned it. Then I upgraded to this single shot. Yes, upgraded to a single shot. Now, this single shot comes apart and it has an O-ring inside of here that holds that together. That's why this flag's on here, because I couldn't get that O-ring on there because I made a extra shell holder out of a piece of PVC and put that on there. And then it broke and I took it apart and couldn't get the O-ring back on it and haven't messed with it. But the fancy thing about this Brazeltech single shot it has a 22 250 barrel that I've never shot. Which is pretty cool. So, then, well, I've used that single shot for, I don't know, a decade. I keep dropping things. Over a decade. And then I went to the outdoor show last year. And it was, what was it, 4 tickets for $20 for the Duck Unlimited. And I won. This is a 410. And I'll take that apart in a minute. But I won that. I was pretty happy I won that. But moving forward into all of my hunting gear. There's a lot here. And the reason is because when I go out, I hunt in the rain, in the cold. And the best thing to do to start is socks. These are Smart Wool socks. I wear them until it's like 10 degrees. And then I got alpaca socks. And these things I wear in the stream wading when it's like 1 degrees outside. So base layer, Smart Wool. I bought these base layer Smart Wool. This was given to me by a family member. On top of this other Smart Wool, kind of a mid layer, zip up. This was given to me as well. But I also put on a second layer of lined fleece. Under Armour. Second layer of top fleece. Or I use this. They're both Under Armour. This one's a little bit heavier than this one, depending on the temperature. Then this year I went and bought a big heavy, well technically last year, this season, a big heavy fleece cat hoodie. And I like it a lot. And I've been I keep dropping things. And then in the rain, I've been wearing this Sims rain jacket. Now it's meant for fly fishing, but it's waterproof. And I was running through the Jagger bushes with this, and I bought this with Christmas money. I don't know, 3 years ago. And then I forgot something for this video, and it's gonna drive me nuts. So when I first started with those 2 shotguns, I made my own pants, which I'm gonna have to grab and edit into the video. With this heavy duty sewing machine, I was able to sew through 12 layers of denim with that machine. But the denim is not waterproof. So then I saved up over the years and bought these Orvis Pro field pants. And the only thing I didn't like about them is how small these zippers strings are. Because when you're wearing gloves in the wintertime, it's hard to open and close these pockets. So I went around and I knotted my own big knots on them. Now, what is in this pocket? I usually keep a screwdriver for filming and a compass. On top of, oh, there's a lens wipe in here. A lens wipe because I have to wear prescription glasses. And I have like 5 pairs of prescription glasses. So those ones are more like safety glasses, which I like. But this year I finally went, I had another pair of these, but they were bifocals for fly fishing. And then I went and got a nice new pair of sunglasses that are not bifocals because they're really hard to get in polarization. This is a hunting jacket that my uncle gave me, and the first thing I did was I re-waxed it. But it has this big pocket in it so you can put your game. And this thing is waterproof. I love it. It's windproof, but it did not come with the hood because over the years it probably got lost. So I'd like to get a new hood for this, but it's been all right. I mean, like, it's really been all right. Then I got this year for Christmas a poncho, which I have this thing set up over here where I was going to try and put all of my gear on and show you how it fits. But this is also a poncho tarp. And these came from Bushcraft Spain. And this thing, it's heavy like this, but when you put it on, you don't really know you have it on until you start sweating because you're moving too much. And I also got this little animal pouch or a wood carrier or something to sit on. When you're in the woods, you're always sitting on things. So what I also was given was these thermal pads. And these are very warm when you sit on them, especially in deer season. Get out in the field and just sit on these. Then I went and bought this because I needed some more orange. So I just clipped this thing right here on the side of my backpack, and I take that out, and that's bigger than 200 square inches. Now let's move all this stuff off and move into my hunting bin. So I got a cottontail call, dead downwind. I love this stuff. And I got a rangefinder with a nice toolkit in there. In here, I pretty much have all my extra goodies. Winter camo is definitely a cool thing. Now these are literally just like skiing pants that I've had that were given to me from my sister when she used to wear them. I've had these for over a decade. And I had to electrical tape them together because they don't fit me. But they work very well. I got this from Gander Mountain before they closed. And then I got the matching hat and gloves. And then you neck gaiter. Neck gaiters are awesome. So turkey hunting. Oh, I got this hoodie from Gander Mountain too, before they closed over a decade ago. It's not waterproof, but it works. You know, more gaiters. This is what I use for turkey. It's a nice lightweight Serta camera. And then I got trail cameras and all kinds of orange and extra stuff in here. More gaiters, Serta camera hat, extra bipod, and then dead downwind spray. So I'm gonna clean this mess up real quick and then move forward. So I just cleaned up and ran around and grabbed some things in like 5 minutes. But so these are the pants. This is the second generation of my pants. I couldn't find the first pair, but it is 2 layers thick all the way up. And then I sewed extra pockets for shells to go into all over these pair of pants. And the first generation, I had a little thing sewed right here because I was using a single shot where one shell would sit right there. I was able to grab that out really quick and load the single shot. Then I bought elastic and put shells here, and it worked until I sat down. Because when I would sit down, they would slide up and it didn't really work. So I just went through and used the pockets for different shell loadings. And like I said, I wore these pants for probably 7 years. And then the first pair I wore for 2 years. And I thought it was pretty cool that I was able to make those. So moving into the backpack, oh, I didn't clean this stuff up. I'm gonna throw this over here real quick, boop. And moving into the backpack here, this is something else I made. So this pack has a zipper slide through, so you can put a gun down through the pack, which is pretty cool. But they wanted like $50 some for this little thing to hold the gun. So I made this with some extra webbing. The gray stuff actually came from a bag I got from T-Rex Arms, which is kind of funny. And this strap right here, which is a quick release. I can't reach it over the table. I'll show that later. Moving in, you got your orange hat, your Serta hat. You got your somewhat mid glove. You got a nice, somewhat warmer gaiter. And then I got my kind of lightweight gloves. These are not waterproof, and it sucks because if you trip, these get wet, they stay wet. But the cool thing about these, I can double stack these if I'm super cold. But I only do that probably once a year if it's too bad. If these are dry, I don't do that when they're wet. I made this thing, which I wrap this around a tree, this hangs, and I put the legs of squirrels, small squirrels, or rabbits, not even on camera, in these little things. You just pull them down through and put the legs through them. And this helps with skinning and gutting small critters. That's in that bag, and I got tissues. And the next one, I have a big Serta hand warmer that is really thick and nice. And in this pocket, I have a pair of snips that I have tied together because the lock on them always springs open. And when I'm making trails or trying to be really quiet walking through the woods, I can pull these out, cut the jagger bush, and keep moving. And then you saw this. This is the little animal blanket or whatever you want to use it for. I got extra little pieces of paracord tied together if one breaks. And then also Bushcraft Spain sent me this with the poncho shelter. So I have, this is like a really thick, heavy twine in case I need to tie up a shelter. Extra Ziploc bags. These can go in here with this. And then I have my hunting license in there. Now, this bag can open up. And if I needed to, I can shove other objects inside there, or another firearm if I want. Inside here, another lens wipe, because I wear a bunch of glasses. I can actually take this off, and that can go in my fishing stuff now. Then I have this. I tie this up in a tree, hanging around a tree so it's not getting wet. And then if I ever need it, I have a vest that's got reflective material in it. If I get soaking wet out, stuck in a field somewhere, or if I'm just really cold of sitting in a field for 6-7 hours, I can throw that on real quick. Also have a big heavy Serta gator. This thing is super warm and it makes me sweat. So I just keep it in there. I barely have it on. A towel, extra water. Missing something. Oh, in here, this pocket. Normally I carry 2 knives, but I broke this one and I really liked it. The tip broke off of it because I'm an idiot and stuck it in a tree. Don't do that. But these little teeny knives are awesome. This one, like I said, that's 8,000 grit flat, 3,000 grit on a 20-degree angle, or somewhat close to 20 degrees. This little knife right here, I will butcher an entire deer with and put the meat on the table with this little knife. I've had that for over a decade. This one was more of a skinning knife and a fleshing knife until I broke the tip, and then my buddy gave me this one for a fleshing knife for my birthday, and I freaking love them. Also, there is another pouch in here. This pouch that has the bags. I had a bunch of white trash bags in here just to put the meat in, and it looks like I'm empty and have to restock those. So, going to the outside of this bag, I have a carabiner. Haven't really needed one that big yet, but you never know. Extra water, and then I take this thing, hot tea. I love my Bigelow tea. It is good. And usually I mix between the 3. In this pocket, I have my heavy shells. These are my Boss. No, these are not my heavy shells. These are my number 8s. This is normally what I shoot. 20 gauge. Number 8s. Heavy field. I love them. But sometimes you have to push through heavy brush. So I got these War Chiefs. They are a mix between a 3 and a 5, and Boss makes them. I know they're more of a waterfowl shot, but when I need to push through brush, they definitely work. And more tissues. Or sometimes I'll put my my cottontail call in here and make little noises, not like a predator call, but just make little noises to see if I can get any rabbits to move from their hiding spots. But that is all of my hunting gear, other than my new 20 gauge that's semi-automatic that I bought at the beginning of last year, right after I won this 410 gun that I've never shot. So I'm going to pick up my glasses so I don't break them, move on to the next journey now that hunting season is over. until spring turkey. Now, I'm going to eliminate these 2 bags right off the bat. This is my panfish and bass bag. That's pretty much full of rubber worms, crappie, worms, jigs. Not time for that yet. I mean, you can catch crappie now, but then this is my night fishing bag. Has all of my big hooks, a cutting board, serrated knife, and bug spray for night fishing. I'm not going to go over those yet because fly fishing, trout fishing starting. I'm going to start with this rod. This rod come from New Mexico. My grandfather found this bamboo rod in a tree and he gave it to me, and I brought it all the way back from New Mexico in this tube here because it didn't have a case. It was found in a tree. That thing almost fell over. But I haven't used this rod yet. I need to get out on a pond and use it in a pond. So he found it in a tree and then he remade it apparently because he signed it in 1965. Wow, I should have looked at this a little more closely. So he refinished this rod. That is awesome. That's the first time it's been out of the bag in 3 years. So the first fly rod that was ever given to me is hanging on a wall. Then I got this one from my dad for Christmas. Oh geez, probably 16 years ago. And it's a Redington 5-weight. 6-weight. This is a 6-weight that I run a 5-weight line on. It's a 9-footer. Let's see if I can... Cool. But what I've been trying to do with the sewing machine is I wanted to make a pouch. So see, like this is a single pouch. You put all of them in one hole. This rod was a Christmas gift. And it has a sleeve that has holes for every section. And I'm trying to make one for the 6-weight. And what it's going to do is it's going to fold over this way, and then I can take this and wrap it around here and button it back together so that I can put this 6-weight rod in this case so I can have 2 rods on the water. And then this is my tight line from Moonshine. And I love this rod. It is a 3-weight with a fighting butt. I love the fighting butt. This is a Wright & McGill from Eagle Claw. And it's a, it's a 7-foot 4-weight. When I'm in smaller streams. Like I hiked in McConnell's Mills and Slippery Rock with this rod. Hiked like 4.5 miles and caught 1 fish, 1 wild brown, and it was awesome. Alright, and then I fill this up with tea as well. Gotta love your tea. Not a coffee drinker, but I'll drink tea in the wintertime. Tying flies, gotta have bifocals. I don't know if you could see that line, but gotta have bifocals. Then I got these this year. I wore them one time hunting. Haven't got to use them fishing yet. This is the second time I bought this net. I bought it and then stepped on it and it broke. But this net, the holes in the bottom of it are bigger than the holes on the side of it. So my niece caught her first wild brown trout, and I was like, you got to get a picture of that. And when we put it in the net, the hook popped out and the fish swam out. So she did not get a picture of her first wild trout. So I got mad and then went out and bought this net, and I'm glad I did because the handle on it is a lot longer. I can reach farther with it. I wish it was a little bit longer, but the next size up was like $200, and forget that. So you saw this. I use this for fly fishing. This is a nice lightweight jacket that is a little bit small for me. I got it on clearance and it's starting to come apart. I've wore it a lot because it's tight. I stretch in it and feel like the Hulk and I'm breaking things. So this is my gear. This is what I wear now. It is very simple. Net, water, rod holder that I cut the thingy out of it and retied. And then I took this chest pack. I can rip this apart real quick. I took this chest pack that has, well, here's a shoulder strap for it that came with it, and here's the back strap. Took that off of there and I put this on my hip, so it's on my hip because I have hip waders when it's really hot out. I just bought these the week of my birthday in January. I've never really used nippers because my forceps have scissors on them, and I wanted to see if they actually made a difference. And honestly, on a size 18 or 20 fly, it might get a smidge closer. And then I have a pair of extra hand tweezers that are spring loaded to grab the very small flies. Okay, I'm going to start with this. So these were the packs that I had first. Magnetic base, dry fly base, and then I have a double pouch. Oh, I left it in here. I have this one that I made. I took two of them apart and put them together. But these are magnetic, and water gets inside that if this gets wet. So I moved into getting some waterproof fly boxes. And the magnetic works for these smaller flies, but once you get into, I believe those are a 3.0. No, those are the 2.7s. The 2.7s don't really hold all that well. The 3.0s do not hold that well. And then these push down, so the fly hooks can jump up on top of that. But it's been working for me. It keeps my flies dry. I always have a magnetic retractable in case I drop something or somebody else dropped something and didn't pick it up. I can pick it up. I've collected a bunch of forceps. I've collected flies. I've collected rooster tails in the stream. So that's what I moved to. A little bit of dry floating, a little bit of indicators, and I have an extra spool for my tight line rod, extra spool of tippet, and then some bigger indicators. And then once again, a lens wipe. Always need my lens wipes. Drives me nuts. So I'm going to put this stuff over here. The first piece I bought was actually this Inquipa bag. And this is a chest pack. And I had my extra rod would go in here and then come down and loop. There's a loop somewhere. Okay, maybe I took the loop off, but that would keep my extra fly rod. Then you could switch between this being the light back. There's the loop. I'd put the end of the rod in here, and then the tip of the rod on here to carry an extra rod. This was big and bulky on my chest, and I would catch the things on here when I was fishing. So I moved to something more compact. But I will say, I used this, oh geez, I probably used this for 6 years. And then recently got that 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. But it's good to have this in case I can put this backpack on without the front piece. And what I also found out is that this clips into here, and then I can clip this on here. Come on. And then I can wear this with this pack if I ever will go on a day hike and I need food and extra water and everything else, so I can use that. It's pretty cool. You could just sit here and see what works and what doesn't. Plus, like I said, that chest pack came with all this other stuff that I can use. Oh, I put that in here for no reason. I used to keep all of this stuff that's in this box in this bag, in the chest bag, in the back of this, and it was just overwhelming. It was too much. I have my winter gloves. I'd like to upgrade these for actual mitts, and the new mitts are really cool because they have a pocket that you can fold the mitt up in and then slide the mitt inside of the pocket, so it's not just dangling there and flipping everywhere and catching your line. Bigger streamers, more tacky boxes, day packs. I have bunches of fly boxes. There's all my extra cider material, all the extra tippet and stuff I've collected over the years. Wading belt. Wear your wading belt. This counts as a wading belt. It will stop water from coming in if you step too deep. I have a Cortland bag that I actually found at the end of my driveway that had a GPS, a scale, and something else in that somebody lost, that I took and made a neck piece and then made my own connector that goes around your back. So that's pretty cool. I can hand that to my niece or somebody who wants to go fishing with me. I got a spare 3-weight line that actually has my original setup for tightline nymphing. I was going to give to my sister because she wants to try tightlining next time we go out. This is my 5-weight reel. This is my Euro reel that has 30 feet of 10 or 12, and then 15 feet of 8, and then 15 feet of 6. Cortland camo down to a 4X cider. I believe it's 4. It might be 2. And then my extra doodads, bobber stops, more cider material, bobbers, cork floats. I've been trying to figure out how to get a cork float onto a cider material because it is more natural to the fish than something bright orange or bright white. And then you got your stomach pump. I used it a couple times for some demonstrations years and years and years ago. And then here is another bobber that has the bobber stops on it and a tiny, tiny, tiny little swivel, which I've been trying out swivels. But that's basically it for the fly fishing gear. I'm going to clean this up because I don't like all this stuff on that bamboo rod my grandpa restored. And then I'm going to move into the backpacking part. So I went fishing yesterday. Threw my boots in the mudroom sink here, and after every trip, you go fishing. After every stream you go into, you should clean the living crap out of your waders and your boots. It only takes 10 minutes, if that. So when I was at the outdoor show last year, I also stopped and got a bunch of maps from, I think, the Conservation District or some park collaboration thing. And so I fished McConnell's Mills, but I wanted a map of the place. Clear Creek, I got a cabin. I'm going there in a couple months. And then I've had these couple Pennsylvania maps. And this big map, maps are nice. I'm just going to say that. Having maps are nice. This is all the state parks. It's a and it breaks everything down in different categories. Like who has cabins, and then you can go down and figure out who has cabins. That bag just kind of lives like that. I got this because I wanted to start raising rabbits 3 years ago. I made a bunch of cages. This year I got my West Virginia trout stamp for the first time ever. Usually I get my West Virginia license to fish the Ohio River night fishing, and then Pennsylvania campgrounds, Allegheny trails. A guy I built fence for gave me these maps. Well, the map of the trail. And I really do want to get into this. I think the first place I want to actually backpack camp is Quebec Run down in Uniontown, because there's fishing there. But haven't gotten around to it yet, to be honest. I printed up all the stuff from Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. This is wilderness and trout waters, and this shows every location of those designated waters. Then this one is Class A trout waters. So all of these are Class A. These are all of the wild trout and natural reproduction streams, and there is a boatload of them in Pennsylvania. A lot. And this breaks it down. See if I can get this to focus. It goes county of the mouth of water, where the water's at, what it's a tributary of, where the trout limits are at, longitude and latitude, and then how many miles it is. So this is a lot of information you don't need to print, but you can actually search it and figure it out. I printed it because I'm weird. Anyway, moving into the backpacking thing. Now, I will say this is stuff I've bought over years. Some of it I've used, some of it I didn't. Walkie-talkie. I bought this backpack 3 years ago and didn't know what I wanted, didn't know what I needed, didn't know what would work. This backpack distributes the weight perfectly, but the problem is the thickness of it. Now, are you really going to fill up 50 liters of stuff to go backpacking in? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I don't really have, there's like medical and stuff in the top of this. Other than that, it's empty. And then I kind of went a little bit weird and did like a survival backpack. I had a hatchet and a big bow saw on it in case I needed a go bag, and then I was like, dude, that's too freaking much. You have all the stuff. I have this backpack here. It's a nice day pack, and then the thing for a knife on it. This is the first bag I used when I was hunting, and I used this bag for, oh wow, 7-8 years until I bought that camo one over there. And I just took a bunch of webbing and I strapped orange going through it, and this bag worked until I wanted something better. But I have a bunch of webbing here. This stuff is actually climbing rated. It's double looped for rock climbing, and then this other stuff's just kind of cheap webbing to sit here and mess with and practice stitches. But where are we gonna go to? We'll just take a bag. What's this bag? Oh, this is my fishing kit. So I have a on-the-go fishing kit for the go bag, and it has the whole line ready to go on here. I just take the line off of here. I think it's got 30-pound braid and 40-pound mono ready to go, and then like hooks and bobbers. Just a survival fishing kit instead of taking all of my gear. If you gotta run, I've got a lot of fishing gear. What's in here? This is titanium, I think. Titanium. Oh, and a little burner, MSR burner. This one's the one that has a self igniter on it, and I've never used it. Not gonna lie, I've been wanting to get into backpacking for years and years and years, and never actually got around to do it. Now I will like fill all this stuff up in my pack and go hike around the farm, which I can hike miles on the farm. Betadine, paracord, extra clothes, water bags, or waterproof bags, some food. Gonna try that when I go to the cabin in Clear Creek. Some bolt cutters. These are nice. They're actually called, these are fence pliers, to be honest. They're called mini bolt cutters, but they will cut through a lot of stuff. 4-liter hydration bag. Rolls up really nice and small. Nalgene bottles, 2 liters, Nalgene bottle. So I have a dirty one. Oh, so you can see the cap differences. I bought this cap extra, so a dirty one, and then clean water. And then clean water, and then I got all kinds of filtration stuff. I don't know what I like. I don't know which one works the best, because you never know. So this is a whole kit, filtration kit. I like this thing. It is nice and easy to squeeze. Oh, and then that happens. So you cannot twist it. when you're taking it apart. So now I have to fish this back down in here and twist it until it catches, and then you can pull it out. So as long as you're paying attention to it, oh, you gotta open the lid. You gotta let the water air out. As long as you're paying attention to it, I'll mess with and then I got a fire steel here. What the heck is that called? Is it magnesium? I don't know. A ferro rod, that's what it's called. Ferro rod. More water filtration. Eggs. Fuel. I think there's some pulleys or carabiners in here. Oh, some pulleys. Some climbing pulleys if you ever need to climb. And I do have a bunch of climbing rope down in my my chainsaw gear. Dude wipes. Little teeny frying pan. Nice and lightweight. This is a suturing kit. You never know. Glow sticks and titanium spoons. Electrical tape. You can never have enough of that. SOS food. More dry bags. More top. These are cool. These are little foldable bowls. You just sit here and snap this thing together. They fold flat. And they're topographical map. So I thought these were pretty cool. And another copper tin thing. And then, funny, my brother works for John Deere. And I wanted something big and heavy to boil water in case I need to. So my brother gave me that. And that lives in here. What is this? This is another Warrior Poet bag. Come here. And, headlights, batteries, razor blades, you know, random stuff. Oh, there's lip balm in there. Just random crap I've collected. Here's another screw-on lid. And then this is a big, giant canvas bag. In case I just need to throw everything in a bag and take off running. Throw it all in one bag. And then organize it later. And then you got your toiletries. But yeah, so what I need to buy. Let's see if I can, nope, I can't. Okay, what I need to buy is a sleeping pad, a sleeping bag, other than this one, because this one, it works, but it's big. And it works in my other setup with my tent cot and my gazebo that I make like a little teeny house out of, which I'll show you in another video because I'm going camping for the opening day of trout, which is April 4th. Is a Friday, and I camp out April 5th. We don't really fish there, we just hang out. It's kind of cool. And then I need an actual backpacking tent because my tent cot weighs probably, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds, and you cannot hike it through the woods very easily. It is as big as this ping pong table, to be honest. But I'm going to wrap up this video by showing this quick release strap here. You gotta undo this, and then you can tighten it or loosen it, whatever you need to do, which I really like because this gun is very accurate. I love it. I'll put this back on here later. So I'm gonna show this off, which I am I have to thank Duck Unlimited. Like, 20 bucks, I just wanted the orange hat. You know, if I won, I won. And It came with, so there's 2 chokes in here and there's 3 other ones. And I think none of them are the same. But I have not shot this yet. And it is a beaut. Can't wait to start playing with it. I think I got 3 or 4 boxes of shells for it, number 9 shot, which will definitely work on rabbits. So yeah, that is a big gear explanation. I won't even say it's a review because I didn't really review anything. And like I said, I bought all of this stuff other than the couple things that were gifted to me for Christmas or my birthday, which I went over, and then I won that. So I set that up for me to kind of stand in front of wearing all the gear, but I am really hot and I might do that later because I'm like sweating sitting here or standing here talking. But thanks for watching. Let's see. I can't flip. So hold on one second. All right, there we go. I got the camera turned around now. I'm gonna stand in front of these dinosaurs here. I got set up. Let's see here. All right, well, I'm gonna attempt to do an outro. First off, thanks for watching the videos, because like I've not really been doing many videos over the past 16 years that I've been collecting this stuff. And I just wanted to say, trying to move forward with videos. Recording for me is interesting because I live on a farm. I got a lot of things to record, but to be honest, I don't always pick up the camera. So I'm going to get out for opening day of trout. I'll record that, and then I got a cabin booked in Clear Creek 2 weeks after that. So I'm excited for the next month. Thanks for watching. I'm going to give myself a thumbs up because I'm actually doing an outro. So we're going to move forward. Thank you.